You want to know what keeps your customers coming back. You want to know why they keep coming to buy your products, or maybe you need to have them keep coming and buying your products. Marianne DeNovellis here with the Six-Figure Mastermind. We want to explore the most direct cause of customer loyalty. Let's get really specific and pinpoint the most deciding factor in customer loyalty. Now, we're gonna break this factor into three really specific parts because there's really multiple facets for the customer loyalty. A customer doesn't come back to you for just one reason alone. There's gotta be many reasons to come back for you, but we're gonna identify the most important. The first is quality. Quality of your product. I mean, it's obvious, but a lot of people will sell a product and they're so excited about the sale, they're not even sticking around long enough to make sure that it's a quality product. Your product has to be able to withstand the test of being in use. Whether it's a coaching package, whether it's a consumable, whether it's a product you just hand to someone, it's got to be quality. If people don't like what they invested their money in, then they're not going to stick around. They're going to go to somebody else. You've probably done this before. If you don't like a mechanic, you're going to go visit another mechanic. If you don't like the service you get there, you're going to go somewhere else. If you know a certain brand of vehicle is known for this kind of thing breaking down, you're probably not going to buy it. You're going to go somewhere else. Think about how valuable the feedback on any system is, on any system where you're buying online and e-commerce, whatever it is, it's always quality. People are sharing what their experience is with the product, and they're sharing their experience with the quality of the product. It's got all of these facets of durability, of use, of being able to actually perform the function. So make sure that your product is top quality. If it's good enough to be yours and good enough to have your name, it better be good enough to withstand the test it's going to be put through. Think of the most quality products you can think of. Think of the highest quality cars. Think of the highest quality experience you had on an airline. I'll share one with you. I recently flew down to South Africa, and on the way there, we flew into Qatar, which, you know, honestly, I got a little bit more excited about the layover than I did about the destination because Qatar seems so exotic and foreign to me. And, you know, it didn't disappoint me. It really was an amazing experience. I remember getting on the plane to go to Qatar, and this airline that we flew is called Qatar Airlines, and this airline was super proud of their name. They had swag all over the place. The Qatar airport had a whole store dedicated to Qatar Airlines swag. They had little airplanes, and they had coasters, and they had everything you could think of that was Qatar Airlines. You could tell that they were proud of their brand. But I'll never forget the experience that I had when I walked onto the airplane. It was one of those huge airplanes with, you know, 5 seats in the middle and then 3 seats on this side and 3 more seats on this side, super wide. And I walked in and I'm greeted by fresh roses that were there. The Qatar stewardesses were all perfectly primed and beautiful and had this amazing air about them. They were smiling as I got onto the plane. There was a beautiful, enormous crystal chandelier that I saw when I looked up. Way up in first class, there were all of these lounge chairs, and it felt like you had an entire condo to yourself if you wanted up in that first premium ultra business elite class if you wanted to. Now, I was flying somewhere near the back of the plane, but the back of the plane, even that experience was amazing. They were catering to my food interests. They passed out menus. They passed out goodie bags with earplugs and face masks and socks that I don't know who wears those things, but the quality of the experience that I had there was exceptional. Now, a flight from point A to point B is due pretty much to the airplane and the scheduling. That variable doesn't really change a whole lot. I could have picked a different airline, maybe a budget airline to fly from point A to point B, and the airplane still would have taken off, it still would have crossed the seas, and it still would have landed. The experience, basically what I'm paying for is to get to my destination, is very much the same. However, this experience on this unique airline was very, very top-notch. I felt comfortable, I felt acknowledged, and I felt that the experience itself was quality. This airline sells a service, not a product. And the quality of their service was exceptional because they went above and beyond and took the extra step to consider the customer's needs. So if you're in a service-based sales, you want to make sure that experience is top quality. If you're in a product base, make sure that your product is top quality. The second most direct cause of customer loyalty is the system. You've probably heard this phrase before. System stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. Save yourself time, energy, and money. That's what we mean when we say system. When you have a system or your client has a system, it means they have a new way to save themselves either time, energy, or money, or a combination of all three. Does your product do that? Does your product save them time? Does your product save them energy? Does your product save them money? An example of this, I was changing the O2 sensor in my car. I don't know how many of you have done this, but if you own anything other than a Nissan, those O2 sensors are really hard to find and even harder to get off. So I was in there, I was changing my O2 sensor. My car was getting pretty old, so we would end up changing this O2 sensor about once a year, which, quality alert, if it was a quality O2 sensor, I probably wouldn't have had to change it once a year. Well, here I needed to change this O2 sensor, and it was a pain to get a hold of. I was trying to turn it and I couldn't get the torque that I needed, and I learned there's such a thing as an O2 sensor wrench. There's a tool made specifically for this job. Now, this O2 sensor wrench, it's perfect for the job. Guess what else it's perfect for? Absolutely nothing. It is only good for the one job. You can't really use it for anything else other than a paperweight, which nobody ever uses anyway. We all have computers. There's no need for paperweights. So I buy this O2 sensor because I was sitting there and I thought, how much time and how much pain are my knuckles going through in trying to get this O2 sensor off my car? I've taken more than an hour. I've got literal blood, sweat, and tears going into this thing, and I am done. I want the right tool for the job. I need a system. I need a thing that saves me time, energy, and money. Now, did it save me money to buy this O2 sensor? Well, that's debatable. I had to spend $20 to get the one part that's only good for one job and not good for anything else. I spent $20 on it. However, it saved me energy and it saved me time. I had spent at least an hour trying to get that thing off with no promise of being finished anytime soon. But once I got that O2 sensor on there, souped that thing up, put the right torque on it, it came off in 5 minutes, and I was almost kicking myself for waiting an hour long and bloody knuckles to get this O2 sensor out of my car. Now, did it save me time? Absolutely. Did it save me energy? No brainer. In the end, did it save me money? Well, the damage that I could have caused to my car by being so frustrated at it probably did. I had a system that was given to me that saved me time, energy, and money. You better believe I'm going to go to that auto parts store and say, okay, what else can save me time, energy, and money? What else can improve my lifestyle? So, product loyalty comes from a sum of quality, time, energy, and money. So that's system. And there's one more. How much customers feels that they are part of the creation of the product. And that's a big, long one. We've got system, we've got quality, and then we'll sum that whole big phrase up into co-creation. How much do your customer feel like they contributed to the product's existence? You know, take the camera industry, for example. We've come a long way from back when cameras required this bellows and required the exposure sheets and required a darkroom. It used to take hours, if not weeks, to get an exposure from the picture being taken to something that you could touch. It took a long time. How long is it now? Millisecond. You can pull out your phone and take a picture in no time flat. In fact, a lot of people do it accidentally, don't even know they're doing it, when it used to be this long, drawn out, purposeful project. Now, why did that film industry evolve? Why are the cameras in your phone better than the most expensive camera from 20 years ago? Here's why. Because the camera industry listened to the consumers, and the consumers said, we want to be able to do this. We want to be able to have a photo as instantly as possible. Hence Instagram, guys, instant. We want it fast. We want it top quality. So that's why the cameras in our phones keep evolving, keep getting better, keep becoming more precise, keep getting more and more megapixels crammed into this tiny little space, because the public wants the product to keep growing. They want the product to keep evolving, and they want the product to be a result of what they desire it to be. The more you have your clients as a part of your creation, the more loyalty. The more you help create something, think about something that you help design or create. Not only does it feel good to get the credit from it, but you are invested in the success of that product because you have your blood, sweat, and tears and energy invested into it. So if you want your customers' loyalty, create a quality product. Create a system that saves them time, energy, and money, and let your client be part of the creation process. Really, when it's all said and done, your customers keep coming back because of one thing, and that's you. Keep rocking your business, keep making amazing ads, keep making amazing marketing, and most of all, keep making amazing relationships with your customers. Drop a comment below. I want to know what your most successful story has been with your customers, and I'll see you tomorrow.